Hello, thanks for taking the time to watch our video today. Today's video, we're going to walk you through the basics of the truck dispatch system and making a quick invoice sent into Quickbooks. So we're going to open truck dispatch here, and let's take a quick walk through this here. You got tabs at the bottom for your dispatch, which we're on, load planning, which will give you any available loads and dates and whatnot to get everything coordinated, a load board, which is always up to date and is basically for your active loads available, assigned, dispatched, and empty. Your templates, we allow you to store loads for future copies so you can make endless copies of a load. Of course, your driver tab, we have a 5-star rating system for our drivers and different pay types of, we got mileage, percentage, template pay where you define anything you can imagine. We have equipment tabs, trucks. As soon as you're on a truck, you'll see the history at the bottom. Same with the trailers, and they're all up here. And of course, we store customers, place to call, and get freight and whatnot. Shippers and receivers, those facilities are both on one tab, and these are the pickup and drop points on your loads. Searching, which just quickly just show you the power of this. Kentucky, or actually let's go Missouri. We just got some dummy loads in here. Missouri to Kentucky. I got a customer wanting a rate or offering me a load. So I go Missouri to Kentucky, search them up, get my loads. I instantly have the average pay, the minimum, and of course the maximum, and how many loads I'm basing that off of. So you got instant lane history and ability to quote and tell if a load's good, bad, or indifferent almost instantly. And this is just the history from having less than a dozen loads in the system. From here, we're going to go ahead and enter a new load. Go to the dispatch screen. We're going to hit new load. It's going to give us the next pro number in line automatically. I'm just going to make a quick load from a stored template just to save time. And we'll pick the template here. Instantly, we have a load. I can also go up here, tell it I want to make copies. Say make 2 copies of this load, 3 total. Are you sure? Yes. I'm not going to copy deadhead miles and whatnot. And I now have 3 available loads that I made that quickly. And we'll refresh the load board, and there's the 3 loads we just made there at the bottom. They're in red. Red's available, yellow's assigned, green's dispatch. So we can then take any one of these loads. Let's take lucky load 13, double click it. I'll go over here and I'll assign a truck. And I don't want to, let's copy the origin, or the deadhead origin where the truck was last empty. Get that in there. I've got our Macropoint integration turned on for this demo, and I told the system in setup that I wanted to be alerted every time I assigned a truck and driver to a load, so I could send the dispatch to the driver via Macropoint and have his locations and everything tracked GPS. He'll be able to tell me when he arrives and departs every stop, etc. Let's go on just a minute here and finish the dispatch, and we'll come back to this. So I've got a truck on here, and let's put a trailer on here as well. DOT inspection's overdue as a reminder, very handy. And I'm going to go ahead and put a driver on. Now you can set the system so when you pick a truck it puts on the driver for you and different options like that, but I've got everything set to manual for today. So I've got a truck, trailer, and driver on here, and I can go to the load board, and you'll see that now my load has went to yellow because it's assigned to a truck. And we've also got other options on this load board. 1, 2, 3 is the truck I'm using here, so it's going to show all the loads that he's assigned and dispatched to, so you can coordinate what you're doing. We're going to go back over here to the load now, and I'm going to go up to the tracking, and I'm going to go ahead and go to the Macropoint tab, and I don't have all my dates in here. Apologize for that. So I'm going to tell it I want to start tracking this load on the 25th at 1 in the afternoon. I want to track it for 24 hours, and I want an update every 4 hours from the phone, from the smartphone. Got a place to put notes in here and do things with these stops and whatnot. I'm going to get rid of that deadhead stop out of there. He doesn't need that in his dispatch. And I'm going to send this to the driver by hitting that button. It's already done. It's already sent to Macropoint. Right now the driver would be receiving an alert on his Macropoint app on his smartphone telling him he had a dispatch or a load waiting. You can go to your Macropoint account via the web page. This is ours. I'm all logged in. I'm going to refresh up, And on the top here, you'll see here that load we just did, the driver's already been requesting an installation because he doesn't have their app yet. And it's going to start tracking at and everything. This is the Macropoint Portal. This is an extra fee to have their service, but very handy. We'll look at the load we just sent over. It's got all the technical stuff at the top about when we're going to start tracking it and how often and everything. And if we come down here, you'll see all the load information that the driver received for every stop, and note that he has everything from the phone. I don't have all this filled out, remember, but time, pieces, weight, everything. Special notes can be added to the stop before you send this, and it's a wonderful thing. And then you'll be able to see a full updates on the driver's activity below this. When it starts tracking where he's at, it'll show on a map, grabs the location he arrived to the stop, what time, and then when he slides over that he's departed, it'll also notify you that. Quite a little setup. Okay, so we've made a load, made 2 copies, dispatched the truck and the driver, sent the load electronically to the driver's smartphone from Macropoint. Also want you to know, if you don't use Macropoint, you can go to print driver sheet and email it as a text, and it'll bring up a form. It's already going to have his email address and everything. All you do is send it, and I'm not going to bore you with that. I've already did this before I started the video, and this is what the load looks like down here that we sent to the driver to his email. It's got the pickup, the information, all the load information here, and then we go to the second pickup and on down. In this case we had 3, but piece of cake. Any driver can read this and decipher it, and you can also send an email as a text very easily, and he can get it on his smartphone. Back over to Dr. Dispatch. So we've created a load, we've got it on the load board, we've sent the Macropoint app, the dispatch for tracking, and if you didn't want to do that, we went over the printing or emailing of the load information to the driver. Now we can go over here, and this easily, when you empty a load, I'm going to put him over to dispatched here, and it's going to do that, marks the system, and of course the load board will refresh, and get over here on the right tab and refresh the load board, and now this load's green, it's dispatched, and we can get driver pay when the load's empty automatically. If you want to get driver pay instantly, you just press the button. Sorry, got that turned off. Let me go over here and turn that on real fast. Trucking preferences, use driver profit field, come back over here and do this again, and now we can get driver pay that quickly, and it gives you the profit of the gross pay minus your largest expense, which is driver pay, and gives you an on-the-spot profit for FYI there. So there's a driver pay. You can actually go in here into Payroll, open our payroll program, pick Mr. Griswold, the driver. He has some memorized directions I needed to add in here for trailer rental, and this is the load that we just added and made the payroll for right here at the bottom. You can check the loads for payroll, calculate them up, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. We've got some different stuff in here. And we got the loads that we chose to pay the gentleman on. We got any advances. He's got a workman's comp percentage deduction, some trailer rental, and reimbursements, whatever you might have. The pay figures are at the top, the gross minus advances plus expenses for a net paycheck and quarterly earnings. All that's on the pay sheet. And you can email that right here too, or print. And finish payroll, yes, payroll's done for the week. So we've made the loads, put the truck on, dispatched it to a tracking system, created payroll. My God, we've done it all in just a matter of minutes here. Now let's go over to the payroll, or the invoicing system, I'm sorry, and look for invoice number 13, and we're going to invoice that up real quick so we can close up here for you. Load number 13. Remember, we made several copies here, but this is the one we're working with that has the driver and truck. Don't have to have a load empty to invoice it. You just need to have a truck and driver assigned. So I'm going to check the one I want to process. I'm going to preview this so y'all can see the invoice. In a nutshell, it's got the basic invoice information. This is just a flat rate load. Does show all the stop information at the bottom. Customers really like this. It's easier for them to identify the load they're paying you for. So you can also email these from right here if you need to, print, PDF, closing it out. Now I've got the QuickBooks interface turned on, so this load 13 is down here waiting to go to QuickBooks. You could have 50 invoices. You can do what we just did here could have been 25 invoices in a matter of seconds. Press the button one time to export to QuickBooks. Yes, I'm sure I want to export. It went over that quick. You can print or preview yourself a recap of the export you just did and file it for future reference. Close. Did it export and print correctly? Yes, it did. Invoicing is done for the day. Remember, that could have been 10, 15, 25, 100 invoices done in a matter of minutes, exported to QuickBooks, and the results in QuickBooks look like this. We just sent one invoice. We're going to look at the customer. That was Atlanta. There's the invoice we just sent, today's date, and we'll double click it, and there's the flat charge, and it does always put all of your pickup information on the QuickBooks invoice. This way, if you're having a money issue with the customer and you're in QuickBooks, your invoice here has all the pickup, bill awaiting information, and so on, so you don't have to flip back and forth to Dr. Dispatch. So in a nutshell, that's the trucking system. It's easy to use, intuitive. Get a few loads in here and get to rolling, and it's amazing the labor it can save you. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Have a good day.